I remember staring at my LinkedIn feed and thinking that I've done every single free workshop, every YouTube video, and every guide that I could find about how to make clients on LinkedIn. But for some reason, things were still not working. And when you're 20 and you're pitching people that have done PhDs and that having running a business for over 10 years, I knew that I needed to do something that was beginner friendly. And the truth is that I wasn't completely missing effort because to begin with, I didn't even knew on what to put my effort on because I needed a system. And everyone talks about tactics on how to build a landing page or how to do DMs or how to do content. But I was actually missing how the full picture looks like to be able to connect all the dots. So today I'm going to show you how that looks like because I remember the first month I was able to understand it and connect the pieces. I was able to have my first six-figure month, of course, in my country and in my currency. But it was crazy for me because according to statistics, I was making above what upper class does in my country, putting me in the top 1% of earners, which is crazy because few months earlier, I was struggling with even figuring out my offer. And another problem I had is that many people were already monetizing with a big pool of followers, sometimes 100,000 followers. And these same strategies that work for them are not always the ones that work when you're more, like just starting on social media. Or if they didn't have that, they would be using their previous successful career as social proof and, I'm just college rep out here. I had nothing of that. I needed to figure out something that worked from zero. And once I saw the full map and created my own version of it, everything changed. Let's start with the system. Now, before we start, there's some context you need to know so you understand why this is so powerful. Now, first thing is that we work with high ticket offers. So I was not monetizing something like a course or monetizing my newsletter because you need more volume to actually make a good amount of revenue from that. The first thing is that when you have something high ticket, you sell usually through a call and not only through a landing page or a website. So you have contact with people. And this is important because all the system, it's built so you can generate these contacts and of course, share your services more when you are in this one-on-one call with a person. Second thing we need to understand, it's two concepts. First, the buyer's pyramid. And the buyer's pyramid, if you search it on Google and you find more details about it, essentially tells you that only 3% of people is ready to buy. The other percentage of people might be like, yes, I might buy, but it's still not painful enough to act, or I might be open about it, or I'm not interested on that yet. So the first thing is that if you find a system to not only talk with the 3% of people in your audience, but talk with more percentage, a bigger percentage of people in this buyer pyramid, and you warm them up until they are really aware of the problem they have, now you can have more results without needing to have lots and lots of followers to make this work. So this system to warm up people, it's really, really important. Because now, yes, 3% of people might be open to buying, but not really from you, just from the best person they can find for what they need. And the best way that you can turn into that person, it's with a concept that Google developed. And this is a 4-7-11 rule that says that people usually need to have around 7 hours of exposure with your content across 4 different locations in around 11 different touch points to now be willing to spend money with you, especially when it comes to high ticket offers that they usually start from around $1,000 and like above that. But the simple way to understand this is that the more time on content someone has on you, the more likely is that they build trust faster. And when that happens, of course, now you are in the 3% of people who are open to buy and buy from you in particular. So now you might be asking, okay, Celeste, and how does that system look like? Okay, glad you asked because I have this here and it's a whole journey that someone can follow. Now this can turn as complex as you want to make it, but this is the most simplified version I could find. Now, as you see, we have 3 different levels. we first start with the rented audience, that it's your audience from social media, because like it's borrowed traffic. If someone blocks your account on Facebook or Instagram or LinkedIn, then you're done. So yeah, it's your rented audience, and this is the social media platform you choose. Then we have your own audience, and then fun things start happening when you have the audience that you're going to monetize. But let's start first with the rented audience. And what is important to discuss here, it's the platforms you choose. Now, a really common mistake I've seen, it's founders looking to be in many, many platforms at the same time. And they are on X, they are on Instagram, they are on LinkedIn, they are on Facebook and multiple places. But the thing is that if you don't focus on one platform and really learn what it takes to make one win, it's very likely that because of your lack of focus, you're not going to have results. And even have my mentor who helped me with this, and now he's in every single social media platform out there, and he's making like millions. I think he's reaching $1 million per month now. But the thing is that he just started with one platform and then two that have a really similar algorithm, that was X and LinkedIn. But beyond that, he just started getting his team to help him, because for every single platform, the consumer behavior of this content can be different. So people can like different formats, and there might be different things you should be doing for the algorithm. So the more you can focus on this, the better. And the reason I choose YouTube is because of this concept I told you before about time on content, and also because I can start with this big idea of a concept I have, and I find more complex or difficult to make it more concise for short form content for LinkedIn. So I just start with a big idea, and then let's say I show in a YouTube video how to do 5 things that help me to have this result. And now each of these 5 things can turn into an individual piece of content. And now I would have 5 different pieces of short form content for LinkedIn. So I don't really kill myself with needing more content ideas. I just changed the distribution, and that helps a lot because I can learn my own systems better. And that's what I have for the rented audience. Now, once you have these whole systems for social media, that is a whole different world, we need to start considering owning your audience, which is at the end of the day, having a newsletter or an email list, however you want to call it. And this is because social media has around 3% conversions versus email has around 8% conversions. So it definitely works better when it comes to monetizing your audience. Now, another question I get in this step is the newsletters that you can produce specifically from LinkedIn, because they do have an option where you can create a newsletter there. And I wouldn't recommend that, because it breaks the whole purpose of owning your audience and having an email list, which is owning these emails and decentralizing your connections from a social media platform. And also, if you have a specialized software for email marketing, now you can do segmentation of your audience. You can also put tags. You can put some types of automations and specific email sequences that you can do in the future. So I would highly encourage you to search for a tool you can use for these, and that you can have these emails in a separate world. Now, if you want recommendations of softwares, I've been in the game for a long time now, and I know that like the top 2 best ones that are in the industry are Beehive and ConvertKit, that rebranded as Kit. So I currently using Beehive, but I always suggest my students to use ConvertKit, and I wish I like have continued on ConvertKit because they do have more friendly options for your emails. And now, especially if you're a beginner, they have multiple landing pages that you can use for free, and also like many options that for the free plan you can use until you reach a certain number of subscribers, but you really are just going to need that in the future. You can run that free email list for months, and it's going to be fine. Now, also is that they are such a good software that they also have a good sender reputation, which means that your emails are less likely to go to spam or the promotions folder, so more people are going to see that. And the thing is, of course, if you craft really bad emails, your audience is going to forget you, and you're always going to have a percentage to a percentage of people who are going to go for the promotions or spam folder. But Kit really helps you to start at a good level. So that's something you can use. And also, I've heard many stories of people around me that have been getting their accounts blocked or have been getting hacked. Or I even know of a girl who it's considered one of the top influencers in my industry, and she got her account restricted just because someone reported her that her profile picture was not the same way she looked in real life. And it was like, that's so dumb. But for some reason, they blocked her account and she couldn't access it for a while. So owning your audience, it's a really big thing you need to consider from conversions and from owning your audience. Now, if you're just starting, this would be really similar to what I do with YouTube. That is starting from a long piece of content and then making that shorter for your LinkedIn and repurpose similar content in both platforms. Now, after that, it's the fun part, which is the audience you will monetize. And this is when things start getting interesting because here we are going to build a pre-buy experience. As the name says, the pre-buy experience is, of course, what someone will experience before they buy from you. And this was a big challenge, especially for some of the students I found, because I noticed the ones that were working with corporations or big businesses, these businesses didn't want other people to know that they were working with this person to solve a problem that was like confidential or that they didn't want it to show that they were struggling, if that makes sense. So that was also a big thing, how to show proof if you cannot share testimonials. And also in my case, when I started from zero, I couldn't share cases of study or results from past clients, and especially for my coaching program. In this industry, I feel that you can find good people that are committed to what you offer. But in my case, when I try to work with people for free, that was what most people suggest, work for free and then gather some cases of study, and that's going to be fine. I just didn't put the work in. And because it was not an agency or a done for you service, and they didn't put the work, they ghosted me sometimes, or they just didn't take it seriously. I couldn't get my testimonials and my results. So I needed to have clients that could pay, even if it was for a smaller amount. And that's why this part is so important. So you show other people you really have the answers they need. Now, things that can help you for your pre-buy experience are lead magnets, right? These lead magnet posts. And the way this looks like, it's that you have something to offer, a free resource, and now you ask people to comment a keyword if they want to get it. Something like this, where we say, hey, I have, templates from 100 templates from viral posts. Comment viral if you want to get it. And then it gets around 2,000 comments. That's a lead magnet post. And if you see, there's a formula of how to make this. And I'm going to share with you how I can help you with this at the end. But if you see, like this guy, I work with him. He had around 4,000 comments, and the formula of these posts is pretty similar. So it's a game plan for those, but the goal is that they comment a keyword and now you give a resource. Now, the goal is that when they request that resource, you send them a DM. And because now they are in your DMs, you have the right or, the possibility to keep the conversation going beyond that freebie. So let's say 1 week later, you reach out and say, hey, my friend, I saw that you requested this freebie. How was that for you? And most people just want to, keep a conversation. And if they keep a conversation and see that you have something valuable, they might be open to buying. So it's really helpful. Now, the way I usually use these DMs is that I don't like to pitch a lot in the DMs because it takes a considerable amount of time. I still do it. But what I prefer often is to invite people from the DMs that now I've collected and take them into a workshop. So I would invite them to a 2-hour live event and I'll share them how to solve one problem. Now, this is also important. For these DMs, I do have a software that allows me to categorize the DMs and add a tag. So I know which people requested for a freebie, which freebie it was, and then I save them. Because if I just send them like that, I would be losing all of these conversations because the inbox on LinkedIn it's really, really messy. So I use a software that is called Kondo that is much, much better than a CRM. And I wish they were sponsoring me, but anyways, just tell you that in case you want to use it for the future. It's a really good software because now that I have those categorized, I can now send them a DM to invite them to a workshop. And if you're like, oh, I don't want to do webinars, I don't want to do a workshop, I don't want to do an event, I don't want to do a live, let me tell you that I get it. I completely get you because when I started, my English was not really good. I was just really messy on my Spanish and my English, and my words wouldn't come. But I forced myself to do it and it really paid off. And now it feels really natural just to set up a topic and invite people through that. So it would be worth it if you understand how to do these types of things because now people can experience you and understand how you work. Now, another free thing that I like to provide, and this is actually optimal for beginners, it's something of a it's similar to lead magnet, but it's a service. So instead of giving people a guide like here, where I'm giving you a PDF with all these posts, in this type of freebie, I'm inviting people to a call. For example, I help them optimize their LinkedIn profile. And after that, through the natural conversation we have about what's not working with your LinkedIn, what types of things can you improve for your messaging and to attract more high converting clients. Then from there, it's when they start asking, okay, sounds interesting. Can I know more about what you do? And through these calls, it usually happens naturally where people ask me about what I do. And I like it because it's not a hard sell, but instead it's providing value. And then the conversation flows. And I've seen this work best for beginners because you don't have a lot of volume to have people interested. So, for example, here we have 2,000 comments and we need to deliver this lead magnet. But for here, I mean, if you just create one post and then one people book or three people book, you're going to have three potential meetings with potential clients. So that's good. And as you see, these are some of the things you can give away for free to invite people to have a call with you. And at the end of this call, you share them what is your offer. And now from these, you can also have a website and a dedicated landing page for your offer. I've seen the normal mistake where founders have like the full website and the About Me page and the multiple thousands, like 5 offers they have. And this is a mistake because if you drive traffic from LinkedIn to your full website, people are going to get distracted and not going to do anything. So the less call to actions you have, the better. And that's why you can have a website, a dedicated landing page for your offer, and something that it's called a squeeze page. And in a squeeze page, you cannot do anything but one thing and only one thing, only one CTA, that is to book a call with you. So you do not have an About Me section, you don't have multiple offers, you only have one thing. And then in the call, you decide what offer to pitch or what you even share with that person, depending on how you qualify them, so on. So if you see, I'm just having a headline here, a subheadline, and something that is called a VSL, which is a video sales letter explaining how I help and how my system works. And then if someone is interested, then we book a call together. Now, reason that is not at the top of the pyramid, it's because it's really like warm intent and helps more to warm up people. So I've seen better results with beginners by doing this than by starting with a VSL and a landing page just about your offer. So I would definitely suggest starting with the green ones. And now also like something that is good is that you can alternate in between and have a loop of nurturing your leads. So let's say from your rented audience from LinkedIn, I invite people to a workshop. So I'm jumping directly to my audience to monetize, or I can also create a post on LinkedIn and create a lead magnet, or I can also invite them to my lead magnet as a service, right? and I'm just jumping one step. But also, once they sign up to a lead magnet as a service, or once they sign up to a workshop, they are automatically subscribed to your newsletter, and you can keep nurturing them. So you keep building these conversations. Now, of course, once they are, warm up, that's when this website and this dedicated landing page starts working more and more, because now that people know you and they've consumed more of your content, now they go directly to book a call with you because they are more sold into your value. Now, let me emphasize on this because I've done many YouTube videos, many courses, and invested thousands literally on mentorship programs. And I've seen that even founders who are starting from $5,000 a month, less than that, to the founders who have around $1 million per month when it comes to high ticket services like coaching or consulting or even an agency. This is the same system they use. And now, for example, if it's newsletters, the only thing would be to jump from a system that looks like this, that is pretty simple, to something that it's a bit bigger, right? And with more systems and more warm-up mechanisms, and then jumping from something even bigger. So I do want to say, even if you see this thing that it's really like to the point, each one of the systems, like how the LinkedIn content should look like, the newsletter, how it should look like, how the lead magnets should look like, it's a whole different world. So if you want a little bit of help with this, I'm going to leave my contact and a place where you can book a chat with me. And I show you how I can help you figure out this part. And if you want to focus only on one thing that can give you results faster, it's definitely lead magnets first, because workshops can take a bit of a longer time to plan, especially if it's the first time. But lead magnets are by far the fastest one to create. And I've seen most founders overthink this step or take months to build a lead magnet that can be done in one day. So if you want help crafting the right lead magnet for your audience fast, I'm literally giving away the whole system behind it. Plus, I'm also helping you live to brainstorm and show you how to use it. So if this sounds interesting for you, you can go to the description and find the link to book a lead magnet strategy call that it's completely free. And in this one-on-one call, you will walk away with a high converting lead magnet concept. I will show you the format that works best for LinkedIn, a ready to use idea for your offer, and some tips and tricks so you can build that lead magnet in under a day. If you go to the notes in the description and it's still there, that means that it's still available and you can book your free call there. So if it's a priority for you to figure out these lead magnets to get results as fast as possible, I'll see you there. But otherwise, I'll catch you in the next video.